Hey everyone, my name is Spooky Chai and welcome back or welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the book Don't Let Her Stay, written by Nicola Sanders. I did not think that it was possible to feel so much frustration and anger towards a book like I did with this book. Like, I was so close to rage quitting. Like, I was so close to being like, okay, I'm done with this book. I'm not gonna read it. But I'm the type of person that if I pick up a book, no matter if like the plot is boring or confusing, I'm like, I'm going to finish this. I have to finish it because you never know. Maybe later on in the book it'll get better, or maybe later on, things will start to pick up. But for this book, it was the same from the beginning to the end. So this is the summary of the book. Someone inside your house wants you dead, but no one believes you. Joanne knows how lucky she is. Richard is a wonderful husband. Evie is the most gorgeous baby girl. They live in a beautiful house. Life couldn't be better. Until Richard's 20-year-old daughter Chloe turns up. Chloe hasn't spoken to her father since the day he married Joanne 2 years ago. But Chloe wants to make peace. She'll even move in for a few weeks to help Joanne with the new baby. It sounds perfect, but when things happen that make Joanne feel like she's losing her mind, she begins to wonder, is Chloe really here to help, or has Joanne made a terrible mistake by letting her move in? And is it too late to ask her to leave? I did not think it would be possible to have every single character be so insufferable and not like a single person. Like, I feel like when you read a book, you're supposed to sympathize. Well, maybe not sympathize, but at least understand one character in a book to make you be more interested and to hold on and be like, okay, this is a great book. But every single character in this book is unsufferable. Like, I'm telling you, the only person you're gonna like in this book is the dog. And I can't even remember what the dog's name is. I think it's Oscar. I can't remember. But they're just all terrible people. Nobody's making sense. Nothing makes sense. Everything is just chaos. Everything is on fire. And you're just wondering, what am I supposed to do with this? What am I supposed to feel? Like, what emotion are you trying to provoke out of me besides frustration and anger? Because I don't think that's what the author was intending for everyone to rage quit on this book. Joanne, she is being bullied by her husband, her stepdaughter, and sometimes her nanny. You would think, okay, I'm supposed to sympathize with her. I'm supposed to feel bad for her because this is happening. But you quickly lose that feeling when her baby has been in harm's way multiple times. Like, her baby could have been murdered, and she's just sitting there questioning herself, like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I seen something suspicious, guys, but I don't know what I should do. Like, I don't think I should leave. Like, maybe I should stay. It's like, homegirl, you literally saw something, so take your baby and leave. But she doesn't do that. I almost felt like I was watching Dora. You know how Dora's like, help me find something? And it's like, girl, if you just turn around, you could literally find it. That's what it felt like reading this book. You're just banging your head against the wall, like, oh my gosh, Joanne, if you just took your baby and leave, this book could have been over. But everything was just very repetitive. Like, every single chapter was the same. It's Joanne waking up, taking care of the baby, getting bullied by her husband and her stepdaughter. Next chapter, Joanne waking up, doing some chores, working from home, kind of taking care of the baby, getting bullied by her husband and her stepdaughter. It's just that over and over again. And honestly, this book could have been 10 pages long. I know that sounds terrible, like 10 pages for a book, but honestly, like, this, if they just scrapped like the middle of the book, several, like 100 pages out of that book, that could have been a pretty decent book, I guess. But it was just the same. Everything was just the same. I don't know if I said this already, but the book was very choppy. I mean, nothing flowed together. The dialogue between the characters, the plot, the transition, like, nothing flowed. There was a lot of grammar issues. There was a lot of misspellings. There was a lot of things that didn't make sense, where your brain was trying to fill in that space, that sentence of like, okay, I think the author meant to say this, but they completely butchered that sentence. And that was getting kind of annoying because it's like every few pages you're like correcting something in the book. Also, one thing that I noticed is that the author would pay attention to things that didn't really matter. Like she would write in great detail about her, like maybe making tea or her working from home or maybe her cleaning, just things that didn't really matter, like just abysmal things that are like, okay, why does that matter? And then when it came down to the actual plot and things where it's like, okay, this could actually build character or this could add to the plot, it's like we don't get that detailed and everything is rushed over. The dialogue didn't make sense. There was no connection. Like she could have added more detail there. Like she could have added like writing more about, you know, their expressions or just about how they're feeling in that moment, but everything was just so choppy and cut and dry that we didn't get that detail like we did with Joanne making a cup of tea. A cup of tea. I'm sorry. The last thing I'll say is that everything was so predictable. You could literally read the first page and you're like, this is how the book is going to end, and you're going to be right. But the author would throw in the not only a double twist, but a triple twist. And I feel like she could tell, okay, I'm doing a lot of repeating in these chapters. I need to add something to keep the reader's attention. So I felt like she was just throwing in these random twists that weren't introduced before and added nothing to the storyline. Because it did pick up towards the end, but it wasn't like, okay, this is when things get juicy, but it was more like, oh, I'm going to throw in a bunch of random things and hoping that it'll add to the story when it actually didn't. But the ending was predictable and then it ended abruptly. And the way the book ended, that's what makes you actually upset about reading this book, because none of this would have happened. So all of this was for nothing is basically what you're going to think. This was all for nothing. And that's what really makes you upset. Not Joanne, not the abusive gaslighting husband or the psycho stepdaughter or whatever it is. It's the ending that's going to make you feel like, "Oh my god, this was all for nothing." I didn't mean to go so hard on this book, but this genuinely like made me so frustrated and angry, and I didn't walk away feeling like, oh, okay, this was at least a good book. Like, no, it wasn't great, it wasn't good, it was so and poorly written. But I will give her the benefit of the doubt because she is a fairly new author. I mean, she only has 3 books out. The first one was published in 2021, but I'm pretty sure she is a self-published author because there is no way that she didn't have an editor. If she did have an editor for this book, fire them because there was so many grammar misspelling issues. Like literally a whole book was just full of run-on sentences. Nothing made sense. If I could rate this book out of 5, I would say a 1.5 or a 2. Yeah. So that is it. That's all I have to say about this book. If you are interested in following me, I'm going to do more like movie reviews, more book reviews. The next book review that I want to do, I wanted to summarize this book that I read. It's called The Darkest Child, and it's one of the most disturbing books I have ever read. I thought it was going to be, you know, kind of like someone talking about their struggles of growing up being a black girl in America, because I was like, okay, this is interesting. No, it was so disturbing. Like, it was probably the most disturbing book that I have ever read. So I was going to give a summary on this channel. So if you're interested, and me, you know, summarizing that book, then go ahead and subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you later. Bye.